Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon. Microphone check. Screen check. Looks like everything's working correctly. Give me 1 sec, sorry. All right, back. Sorry about that. Welcome to the afternoon market recap and offering overview. My name's John Henry. If you haven't seen me or heard me or had the wonderful pleasure of listening to my voice, I hate listening to my own voice. I think everybody has that on YouTube. Welcome again to the afternoon market recap. This is where we're going to spend the next 30 to 60 minutes or so going over what took place today, the trade setups that presented themselves today per the rules outlined in the Day Trading Academy and the VIP trade plans, and I'll also talk about a couple of the setups that we had along the way too this morning with VIPs. I'm going to talk about every setup that presented itself today, but remember, not all of these patterns and setups are created equal. The ones I cover are all of them, no common sense filters at all. Going long in a massive downtrend is just as good as any other trade in that type of scenario, and that way we can ensure total fairness in our pattern setup review. There's no cherry picking. Don't forget, before we kick off, smash the like button on the YouTube side of things and let the YouTube algorithms know what's up. Don't forget as well to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next video or live stream that we have going out. We've got a lot of videos coming out, 2 a day usually, one for Upland and one for trading. So a lot of stuff going on that you don't want to miss. If you want to hang out with me and the rest of the VIPs for the entire US morning session, you can register for a 1-week trial right on the main page of SSFTG. And when you do that, you get the free 24-page guide on risk reward, along with the ability to register for a 30-minute call with me to discuss any questions you have. And you get to sit in the VIP live trade room for an entire week and see how we operate in the live market environment when the markets are moving around during the New York Stock Exchange Open, right? It's totally free, which is the best part. There's no credit card required for the trial, so definitely make sure to get on the schedule sooner than later. I got to find my lips apparently. If you have any questions about what we offer, what we have available, or anything else in between, feel free to hang out for Q&A time. While we're going through and looking for some scalping opportunities in the setups today, we also answer the questions, so feel free to drop those in. With all that out of the way, let's take a look at what happened today on our old buddy, the NASDAQ, and a few other things as well. There's been quite a bit of momentum happening today, but if we look at the overall rotation, first of all, let's go back to the beginning of the day. We've got this really strong rally to the upside that kept going and going and going until about 9:30. When the 9:30 open hit, it had a quick pullback, spiked up to a high, and then started reversing for, well, the better part of an hour, really, after that. We had a strong move down, went sideways for a little while, and on that cycle lower, we had a bounce for a 2-hour move lower. Worked out pretty nicely. And then a reversal move all the way back up that basically shut all of the sellers down and went screaming the opposite direction. That was a bounce 3 once again, but that was a failure this time around with a -1R. As the market started returning back down, depending on how aggressive you were, technically speaking, there was an entry that would have been around here. It missed on mine. Depends on your chart, though. Some people said that theirs lined up. Some people said that theirs looked like mine and didn't. Mine didn't line up, so I did not have an entry there. Therefore, I did not count it. If you did, though, congrats. It worked out nicely. But it's not one that I can really factor in. Once we started seeing a rotation, the pattern actually took place before everything. So it was a little bit ahead of the game there and not really a way to find into that. The down cycle didn't have any setups to work with, and then the reversal back up is where we're at now. So as far as today is concerned, it's a +2 and a -1R, all things considered. Pretty straightforward. Now, within this day type, if we're looking at the larger perspective, which is something that we really have to take into account here, going out to the bigger perspective on the 60-minute chart, we can see that this gigantic V bottom that formed at the lows reversed up, super sharp, just ripped the face off the lows. And now we're screaming all the way back up above 15,816 quarter. And that POC certainly is holding on aggressively. They are not letting off. And when the market came back down, it snuck its head through there for a second and axed right off. It just knocked it right off, right back all the way to the highs again. So 15,816 quarter is a major POC area that we're going to have to deal with on the way down here. As far as the structure is concerned, we do have the wave 1, 2, I guess 3, 4, 5. It's kind of gross looking, but it fits. We're in the area where if sellers are going to take back over, this is the spot. Doesn't mean they have to, but this is the area that you would expect them to, and that means that we've got to be a little bit cautious where we are at the moment. I would love to see an inside pullback nice and deep down here, get back down to like the 15,500s. That would be incredible for the longs. We'll see. Going over to where we are at the moment, the market's kind of grinding its way up and trying to rotate higher. We are seeing some issues in the overall movement as far as the bulls are concerned, at least. They tried getting this initial cycle up. If we zoom out a little bit further, we can see that this was nothing more than a huge pullback all the way down to a Jumbotron L5. So we've got a monster L5 off of 16,000, and now we're decision time. The market's got to figure out, are we going to break up to a new high, or are we going to keep this going as a wedge, and then we don't really go anywhere? It's sort of where we're stuck at the moment here. Really? Can I click this, please? There we go. Jeez. Zoom in a little bit closer here so we can see what's going on. On the S&P side of things, the S&P has offered up some decent movement today. A lot of back and forth, a lot of up and down, several scalping opportunities. And one of the big zones of interest is coming back and retesting. We kind of drew a line here from before, but around this 21 quarter area. They have finally, for the first time in a while, been able to actually close above that price. Doesn't mean they're going to stay there immediately, but they were able to at least get above it this time around. So buyers are trying to get the rotation. It would just make a lot more sense to see it at a slightly better price first. Get a nice little trap on the lows, get a dip or something. We've got 3.5 minutes left, and this bear bar would be a horrible short entry. So triggering those bears in wouldn't hurt my feelings. Something like that would be a lot more feasible. See if we can find a point down there. The next zone of support, if it does want to rifle down a little bit further, and honestly one that could be very interesting if they want to pressure, would be a bit further down still, right there at 1650. That would be nuts. Now, whenever we're greedy like this, trying to get a better entry, we know how that works. Sometimes it does, and sometimes it doesn't, and you get left behind watching the whole move go without you. It's a bummer sometimes, but I do like, very much so, that 1650 area. It's a beautiful shelf. Crude oil is continuing its bullish ascent all the way back up after its inventories this morning. I mean, the inventories blew it out of the water. They were expecting a -1, came out at a -4. So, I mean, there's some obvious bullishness going on with a continuation higher, but it's nothing more than just a channel. Pretty straightforward. See what they want to do here. We've got a little bit of an inside bear bar kind of shuffling around back and forth. We've got a minute, 2 minutes left, basically, on the current candle. Whoa. I think I was supposed to dilute that in more than just a 16-ounce water. Holy moly. Golly, I got a juice mix pack thing. Say that 5 times fast. I thought it would be good just mixing it in a 16-ounce. The thing is that I need like a punch bowl for that. Jeez. Uninvert my face real quick. We've got a the biggest zone of interest again on the S&P is at 1650. If we compare that to the Nasdaq, well, it's not very comparable. The only spot to the Nasdaq could be down a little bit at 1675, or like way down here at 873.50. It fits the S&P a lot more. All right, see if the Nasdaq wants to cycle up to a new high. Get back up to those 15,981s. Or not. There's that too. All right, we've got an inside bear bar, which effectively doesn't prove much of anything. Very unlikely that the inside bear bar actually triggers any bears in. It seems like it would be a really bad entry point. Again, we are dealing with a lot of wicks and a lot of slippiness, though, so I don't want to be necessarily buying directly under it, but it would make sense to see something like 2075 a little bit further down. Now, if it does go above the high first, I'm not interested anymore because then it would be a bear engulfing candle. That's a big problem. All right, now it would be a bear engulfing candle. I'm not interested. It's got to be further down. NASDAQ starting to climb back up towards the top here. If they start breaching too aggressively above the 944s, 950s, we're going to start seeing them tip back up. There's not much left here, right? I mean, this is the only resistance that we've got. So, and if they start pushing above that, it's kind of wide open again up towards the 981s. Possibility of a trap above that last candle's high as well. Doesn't make it look too great. We'll see if they can cycle up. Looking like they're trying to trap the top more than anything, though. All right, here it sits. Still looks like they're trying to trap above the highs and rotate back lower again. NASDAQ sliding down a bit. Kind of curious. What does this volume look like from the bottom to the top? We've got their POC at 28 quarter. Wonderful. How about the whole thing? Yeah, 3075. They didn't change it too much. $905 or so ish is going to be kind of a little bit of a shelf area if they're going to try to hold it. All right, pressuring through. S&P starting to dive down there. Perfect. 1650s, that's the hot spot. Not quite yet. Come on, ES. Well, still just kind of sitting. Every time it looks like it's going to slide down and grab it, it doesn't. It's made it down to 17. 50 seconds left on the candle. Man. I'm starting to feel like I might have missed the bounce by 2 ticks. That's not very nice. I still like the 1650 area as a shelf. It's a beautiful spot. It makes sense why it's bouncing there, but I was hoping for a couple more ticks. Hey, Ace, how's it going? Long time no chat. It's good to see you. All right, ES couldn't fill it, and now we're dealing with a little bit of a kind of an interesting spot. There's still almost 5 minutes left on the bar, so this area I want to see how it plays with it first. We're coming down into the zone, but with this much time left, this could bury a huge bear bar, and I don't want to be holding a bag here. Why do you use an ATM with a 4-tick target and a wide stop loss? Because sometimes, depending on how quickly it's moving, I like being able to fluid in and out with the bid and the ask. Other times, it's just easier to place the target down. It depends on what's going on. I'm never usually a big fan of ATM strategies because every time I put one on, I'm not used to them and it messes me up. And then I try to figure out if I'm in a position or out of a position. There's an order sitting there and it's just a mess. So better just not mess with the flow, you know? Sorry for the snuffle up, I guess, dealing with COVID. It's not fun. Looking for the bulls to either continue this back up or see this thing get smacked lower. You can kind of see a head and shoulders formation going on here. Nice little break point. Beautiful angle on the head and shoulders. There's a whole video that goes over it. You just got some of the S&P short. Nice. Market kind of herky-jerking around a little bit here, trying to find its base of support. We've got about 2 minutes 45. There does appear to be plenty of support down here. So as far as the 1650s or 17s, chances are I'm probably a little bit late to the party anyway. Oh, we're not. So this will be the area of potential interest to see if they want to cycle that back up. Be at 50 to 17, 16 to 17. Yep, okay. Tested the target, no fill. There we go. We'll take the scalp and a scratch. Fine. There's our A-pad. A point a day. That keeps that JOB away. Nice little dip down into that zone of support on the S&P. Had to wait for a bit of confirmation, though. I thought I might have to be a bit more aggressive and pick it up at 17. I wasn't expecting it to dip back down to the 1650s. But either way, nice little pullback. Now, the NASDAQ, on the other hand, really looks like it's got some issues. The S&P's catching up now. That's a big old bear bar. Trying to break down to a new low. The last rotation's off of an L3. Technically, it missed the L4. S&P putting in one tick above a double bottom. Same with the NASDAQ, actually. Wow. All right, let's see what they want to do here. If the bulls are going to take it, they've got a wide open territory above them. But above this most recent high is going to be tough. There's a lot of stuff up here. This thing is just a jumbled up mess. Open candle gapping to the downside on the S&P, but awkward because it's based off of an inside bar. That makes it a little weird. S&P's just kind of fidgeting back and forth a little bit. NASDAQ jumbling around really badly. That thing's a mess. Yikes. It's like a pre-market S&P range. Nice little poke above the top there. That might be all they needed. Well, thank you, Bram. I try. It depends on the day, I tell you. Some days, you know, don't say that too loud now. I got Murphy's got real good ears. That's the goal, though, a point a day. So far, we've hit it. I don't know that we've had a day that we've missed it. In the even in the afternoon session. No, it's all good. I think Murphy listens to the person saying it, right? It's not third party. Third party Murphying. I don't think that works. Sellers, oh man, sellers are starting to sweep back over again on the NASDAQ. Man, what a mess down here. Holy cow. As far as equalized pullbacks from top to bottom, if we're looking at same distances at least, we are not quite there yet, but I mean, it's like a handful of ticks. Good enough. Weird spot. The bulls would love to take it, but there's actually quite a bit of stuff in their way. Nice bull bar. Can they make that work, or is that the trap? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. If the sellers sweep this back down again, that could be game over. That last bull attempt above the bull bar. Oh. There's the stops underneath the bull bar. All in one candle. I mean, what are you supposed to do with that? It's the NASDAQ, so it could go another 7 million ticks, though. To be fair. Big blow off all in one giant candle. Now, if you didn't notice, we did shorten things up or slow things down, or however you want to call it. In the VIP morning session, we were looking at the 1,000 tick today instead of the 500. Primarily because by the time 11 o'clock rolls around, there's been almost 1 million contracts traded already. Kind of crazy. The 500 tick is just way... There's so much happening that it becomes a little bit more beneficial to look at something like the 1,000 to kind of slow it down a bit. The afternoon, though, we might be able to go back to the 500. Either way, whatever. A chart is a chart is a chart. 3 higher lows across the base there. It's hard to see, but it is there. 2 lower highs. This is the craziest little wedge I've ever seen. Look at this thing, just bundled up. Barbed wire. False break above the highs. That would really, man, that would really check this thing through the floor. S&P's got a micro double bottom on the inside of that. Bulls are still trying to demonstrate support. Candle gapping from close to open on that last one. Would be reasonable to assume that that should be able to procure a fill and bounce. 1775. Area of interest hits. See if they can back off. There's that false break above the top. Sellers immediately rifling back down. Target taken on the S&P. Pretty straightforward stuff. The NASDAQ, it's much more obvious internally within that structure, but, I mean, you can see what's happening. They're just trying to jerk people out of the top. Everyone's got their stops there. It was a terrible spot for a stop. That's where everybody's entering. Well, should be. At least. Whatever. Oh, we got another one. 2 points a day. Whatever the saying ends up being. Nice little fade off the top. NASDAQ, again, much more visually obvious in terms of what's happening there, but the S&P seemed like a better opportunity. I don't know that the NASDAQ's done. This thing's starting to look pretty mean. Oof. All right, well, the seller's certainly not getting the follow-through that they were looking for there. They had a halfway decent initial move, enough for a scalp, but then kind of fell flat on its face. Popped right back up to another quick new high. Interesting. Uh-oh. Now we're hearing the crickets coming back in. Tick strike lighting up. As far as the news is concerned, I don't think we have any more news today. 2 o'clock is... Well, I mean, that we have to deal with. We've got the Fed Beige Book at 2 and the U.S. federal budget balance, but I'm not trading at 2 anyway, so... Long's kicking it back up again. That might have just been a little bit of a trap there, too. In kind of a messy spot, but... Ah, man, they missed those, too. Oof. Couldn't close the candle gap. If the bears sweep this back down again, that just took away the bull sentiment. Although, to be fair, the candle gap now, where they got the bull bar up to, has already been closed. The sellers are trying to sweep back down. NASDAQ sellers looking for a continuation. Well, I didn't get a single one. I didn't get a single contract on the NASDAQ. I hit ask like 2-3 times. Didn't get a single one of them. Like, for real? Come on, NASDAQ. What? Oh, man. Well, thanks, S&P, for giving us something. The NASDAQ just swerved me. Hit ask, no fill. Hit ask again, no fill. Nothing. Man. Beautiful sweep back down on the NASDAQ, too. I just couldn't get anything. Oh, man. It happens sometimes. Kind of a gross looking transition of candles inside here, but every single one of them is a bear bar on the S&P. Candle gaps from close to open, and all of them are down. Oh, NASDAQ. Yeah, I know. Salt in the wound. You got to put a little bit in there, right? At least a little bit. No, it's going to be more than a little bit. Oh, well. S&P still grinding its way down. It's not really getting much, but if it does want to find a base, I could see, I mean, maybe something like this? Could be why there's such a hard floor here. So much for the wedge. All right, I guess we're dealing with a megaphone. Just kidding. Let's widen this bad boy out here. Blew out the ends. Market cycling back up. Off of apparently a megaphone now. We are going past 1:30 as well. So if there are any questions that you want to get taken care of, feel free to get those in so we don't miss them. Hopefully you've had a fantastic day of trading so far. Whether it was earlier this morning or this afternoon, if that's all you had to trade, either way. Hopefully it's been fruitful. I don't know if you guys saw on Upland, they announced the next city, the next area, for those of you who are big in the Upland side of things. Got LA coming around the corner. Best start prepping. That's going to be a big one. Now, if you're looking for a way to join me and the rest of the VIPs during the morning session while the New York Stock Exchange Open is hitting, we have our VIP live trade room open for VIPs, obviously, if the name didn't give that away. It comes with all the VIP packages, but that is open from 9 a.m. to 12, or around there, 11:30 to 12 o'clock, depending on what's going on every single trading day. You can also register for a trial directly in the main page of SSFTG if you want to see what it's all about. Seven people watching, only 4 likes. Let's get 100% like. There you go, Bram. Get it. Got a real big bull bounce off the lows on the S&P now. They didn't quite make it down to the 1250. And I gotta check the old subscriber count. We might have to do a giveaway sooner than later. That's coming around the pipe too. Already. God, man, I can't believe it. Bull's trying to cycle back up again. We've got a megaphone. A little bit of resistance above the highs. NASDAQ's trying to get something going, but awfully messy. We've got a relatively large bull bar with about 18, 17 seconds left or so, trying to get a completionary bull bar closing up. Might be a nice opportunity for bulls to creep this back up again. The concern, obviously, is, well, now we're starting to fail back below these 720s. That's troublesome. Nice bull bar, though. Bears coming back in again. Heavy sell side action. Now, this reach down on the S&P almost looks as if they're trying to make a final grab for this falling support here. It doesn't seem very... I don't know, the bears just aren't really proving much to me. See if the S&P can get down to like the low 14s. Might have an opportunity down there for a little bit of a kick back up, especially given that there's about 3.5 minutes left. Nice little spot there. Looking for a continuation pulse back up. Oh, I have two. All right. That's fine. It's a beautiful area. Because I did grab two, though, I didn't mean to grab two. I wanted one there and then one a little further down. I'll buffer the middle with a little bit of distance. There's the target. Nice. One extra one on accident. But, I mean, like I said, it's a beautiful area. I was originally, I don't know if you saw me, I was hitting the ask a couple times looking at trying to get out at like 2 or 3. But then I looked at it, I was like, oh, wait, hang on a second now. This isn't that bad of a spot. Nice little bounce there, but I don't know that there's going to be many more opportunities here. Minute and a half left. It's going to have to go sooner than later if the bulls are going to sweep it. Another fantastic afternoon of S&P scalps, just like this morning. This morning at the during the New York Open, that was a huge amount of volatility. Fantastic. It feels like the S&P is back to its old self. You know, it's exciting. If you're trying to figure out what it is that we are doing and trying to figure out how we know where the entries are and where the exit should be and all that fun stuff, or maybe trading is just totally new for you, make sure to check out the Day Trading Academy over on SSFTG. That is 19 or it's almost 20 hours plus of video course material to get you going in the right direction. Make sure that you've got a strong foothold to get going. Murphy A. got us. Yeah. We might just have to duck so Murphy can't anymore. Swerve! It's just like I got swerved on that NASDAQ short, yeah? Maybe that was the payback, I just didn't know it. Awesome rotation so far. All right, let's do final call for questions, and then we'll wrap it up for the day. Lots and lots of scalp. Just in the S&P side of things for the afternoon, we've got one scalp and a scratch, a scalp and a scalp. So 1, 2, 3 points and a scratch. From earlier this morning in the VIP session, that was another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, or 8, depending on where the fills were in there. So, I mean, today, just alone on the S&P has been a really, really good day of back and forth. The NASDAQ also offering up some pretty good opportunities. Just a pretty wild and crazy day. Big swings, not really going anywhere at the end of it all, though. It's kind of settling in the middle. I don't know that we're gonna find many other opportunities here that aren't going to be a bit too risky. Don't forget, we'll be back tomorrow morning as well for all you VIPs out there. If you're not a member of SSFTG yet, all of the 3 VIP different packages, they all come with live trader access as part of it. So that way you don't have to worry about any monthly fees or any of that other garbage. It's all part of the package. And that way you can join us every single day from 9 to 12 when the market's open during the U.S. morning session. YouTube members also, with the join button below the stream there, you can join us for the morning side of things during the morning prep. We do a morning brief with YouTube members from 9 to 9:30, 9:20 to 9:30, depending on how fast things go. So you can sit with us and hang out with us while we're creating our morning plans that way too. And of course, after the holidays and everything else, if you're looking for a more budget-friendly approach to fit the needs during the here and now, with all of the coffers being emptied out going into the going after the New Year and holidays, we do have a lot of different payment plans going as cheap as $84 a month. So a lot of really cool ways to get you involved without having to break yourself in half to do it. If you do need any info, you can always get a hold of me, jhb@ssftg.com. I can help you out from there. Of course, we do go live on YouTube every day. You're hanging out here with me at 1300 Eastern, so you can ask questions here too. S&P might be able to fade off the highs again, but honestly, I don't know that I want to put my hand in the alligator's mouth anymore. It feels like we're tempting fate at this point. It's been a really good day. We're going in towards the end of the day. Might as well just end it in a positive note and call it good. There's the shorts. Well, anyway, I'm not seeing any other questions coming in, but if I did miss any of them, feel free to shoot me an email or use the contact box on the main page of SSFTG. There's a ton of different ways to get a hold of me. We'll be back here tomorrow morning for YouTube members and VIPs, and tomorrow afternoon on the open side of things for YouTube here at 1300 Eastern. So either way, we'll see you all back tomorrow afternoon or tomorrow morning, and we'll rock and roll. I hope you had a fantastic day of trading today, and we will see you all back tomorrow. Thanks.